This is Ed, and you're on globaltvtalkshow.com. Our very special guest today is Emily BRON, who comes to us today from Toronto. Emily BRON is owner and advisor, International Lifestyle Consulting. And the website is Emily BRON, that's EMILYBRON, EmilyBRON.com. Thank you for being on our show again.
Thank you, Ed, for inviting me. As usually, pleasure to be with you.
Very nice. So you're owner and advisor, International Lifestyle Consulting. So you don't have any vested interest that you're pushing on people. You just have information and insight.
No, I'm sharing with people information that I'm already have, and I'm, by the way, researching, reviewing, looking on what's happening in the world daily. And I am actually coaching people who are looking for relocation options, what actually options they have based on their particular situation. And again, as I mentioned before, I cannot cover all the world. I'm working with several countries in Latin America, Mexico, Panama, Costa Rica, Belize, and some other might be added. And in Europe, Portugal, Spain, Italy, Greece, and Bulgaria, because it's already known countries and destination for baby boomers, professional baby boomers. I'm serving, and remote workers, like professional remote workers who are looking for relocation options, full-time or part-time. That's why I'm following latest trends in Europe, in North America, where is my clients and both of us are living now. And what are the trends and where are people moving, south to Latin America or south of Europe.
Okay. Now I'm looking in your signature here, and you have a category called book consultation. So are you writing a book, or are you giving information for people who are writing books?
No, book consultation meaning order the consultation, like booking the consultation.
Ah, okay. Got it.
So I have a couple of ebooks, and probably I believe based on my content plan, I will create several articles, and it will be another ebook later, maybe next year. But book consultation means that people can book direct consultation with me, and I will help them to filter out the option based on what they're looking for, budget. I will inform people about immigration process if it's needed. Everyone has different needs, but people should have vision and picture of what relocation process are entailed, and what steps should be considered, and have a plan, because it all takes time. But I'm connecting my customer with all professionals who would help them to go through the process. But people should start from clear vision, picture of what is the best matching country, region, and sometimes even community, good for them, so they can join and get the best possible life in a new country. That's why community and new emerging community building in the countries, and I'm speaking now in particular about Mexico in Central America, it's very important for me, and I'm looking for such communities. I already connected with several communities, and it's very interesting trend, because I believe it's where the future, at least next 10, 15, 20 years would be, for people who are looking not only to get out of their current countries, but to what place they can, to find the communities they can be part of, but community of like-minded people.
So let's talk about the communities that you have been visiting. I'm looking through some notes here because somebody told me a name of a community I wanted to ask you about, so I may not be able to find it.
If I know, there are many communities.
Yeah,
In what country? What I can tell you.
in Mexico, in the Yucatan.
Okay, there are many communities already, started their development. I mean, now construction development in Yucatan. And I can tell that even in Yucatan, and I was, you probably mean Yucatan State.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
Near Cancun, not in Cancun, but near it.
okay, so Cancun, it's Quintana Roo State, and next to its state, it's Yucatan. Both of the states are covering Yucatan Peninsula. And what's happening on Yucatan Peninsula, it's really, it's what actually, ignited me years ago when I realized how many different communities are developing. But they were mostly and still communities. There is kind of virtual community and living communities for digital nomads who are just renting. But because so many people coming from different countries to this, piece of land, to Riviera Maya, now we're speaking about Riviera Maya,
Yeah.
there's a lot of building of communities, for retirees, for people with families, and eco community. It's a little bit different direction. And I can tell you that actually a week ago, I participated online in very interesting 5-day event, which was organized by, I would say, community leader one from United States, from Texas, and another one from Mexico, but now it's a central Mexico. And there is a whole movement of people, mostly Americans, who are already relocated to Mexico, and some other people are joining to them as well. And they actually building sufficient eco or intentional community, or it can be all together. And every time I'm learning about even new communities, but they're different, for different people. So this style, type of community, I would say, as they say, it's for the freedom-loving people, but they going out of the grid. It's, sustainable, but again, now it's a cliche. I mean, I always looking, what do you mean when people speak about sustainable eco living?
Yeah, I know.
This,
Big
this kind
words.
of communities, they building their own, energy sources. They have obviously, they are buying land, first of all, because land is still cheap in Mexico and there's a lot of land, and they building community for people. And they, after them inviting people, obviously they inviting investors at the beginning. So there's whole kind of communities already built it. And that's why I'm looking, what kind of people looking in different, living in different communities.
Yeah. So when you say eco, that's ECO. Is that like what? What does that mean?
Okay, what does this mean in this particular case? That people buying land, usually it's kind of a remote from the big city, or on the nice natural, it might be mountain, it might be shore. It's living outside of the grid, as they say. They create their own grid. So what's happening? People are going out of the city, and by the way, many of them are people who lived for years in city. It's Americans, mostly Americans, Canadians, and I know, by the way, one engineer from Germany, he's building his community in central Mexico. One couple from Sweden. People are not satisfied with the life they've had, actually, obviously, for looks like very good life, but people are not satisfied with what's happening in their countries by different reasons. So people were looking for options, and I'm surprised myself that they, at least these people that I witnessed on the conference, they bought the land or they developing projects in Mexico, in different part of Mexico. I believe because Mexico still has cheap land, and less regulated probably. So people trying to build new life outside of their government, outside of educational system in the country they're from, because they're not satisfied probably, and they're looking for like-minded people. They actually, everyone's speaking about peace, everyone's speaking, but people are looking to connect with other people and with nature. And people don't want to live in cities that maybe government is building from them. Maybe you've heard about this 15-minute cities, regulated with secure guide and all this. No, these people looking for their own communities.
Interesting, isn't it? Wow. So let's talk more about you and what you have in your sights for 23, for the new year.
Meaning what are my
Yeah,
business plans?
yeah. What are you going to be doing? Anything big?
So right now, actually, from marketing point of view, I am rebranding because all is so quickly changing. From April, I'm planning to be. I have already tickets in Mexico, and again, I will start with my central state. I need to renew my residency. I actually interested to visit for several years already one spa and resort place, just to let people know. It's for Americans and Canadians. Very nice resort, again, in central Mexico. I have special passion for this part of the Mexico. And actually, I have planned, I would be visiting several Mexican states that I didn't visit yet. So I would be starting from Mexico City. I would be in Puebla and Veracruz and some other, actually, historical interesting places that I didn't visit so far. And I finish it in Cancun. It's just itinerary. But I'm planning to meet with leaders of these communities, even like I will see how it's gonna work. And I know that several new, at least I learned recently about interesting communities, again, emerging in Riviera Maya. That's why I'm interested to visit at least, I believe these communities are in the earliest stage, but I'm interested in this international, movement. I would say, as they say, freedom-loving people, like people who united, and they speak about, it's kind of kibbutz idea, but I have, it's kind of kibbutz, but international one. But I'm just very curious about, how they're building these communities, because I know about other communities like Liberland, but it's more kind of mini state community, but it's the same movement, but it's for different type of people. Here, different intentions, but I think what is uniting all of these communities, they all based their, or constitution or their community rules based. It's actually libertarian ideas. It's a libertarian movement which now kind of get new followers, because people are looking for normal living condition. People are not satisfied with cost of living, with inflation in Europe or in North America. So Mexico answering some of the questions that people have at this point.
And what about the safety aspects?
I'm always interested about this as well. And again, the places they building, I think people consider all this. I will ask them this question as well. They speak about, they against violence, against guns. I will see how it will work, in practical way. But I think they are in what is important in Mexico. You need to be in good terms with local powers. And I believe that local power supporting this movement. So it's how I understand. I was surprised myself, but I see that Americans, it's actually mostly Americans, like young, 30-ish, 30 plus people, they mostly from Texas, from other states. It's a new ideas, it's a new community, so they get, so they okay probably with local powers.
Very interesting talking with you about all this. I can sense, and I see your passion.
So my passion, it's some say that new anarchist. And for me, when I've heard about it, but the more I'm looking on what they're doing, the more my understanding of what kind of people are looking. Yes, it will look maybe it's not for everyone. Like this kind of communities, they based on kind of farming. And there is a lot of land in Mexico. But what is interesting is their ideas, and they will build very interesting architectural projects. I've seen from Spain, from Greece, like fantastic projects. Obviously, they need to be implemented, I mean, in the community. But, an idea, all these communities would be supporting each other. I mean, if there is a problem in one community, they will go to another community. So actually they're speaking, and I didn't know about this historical fact, but in when slavery was was part of life in United States, southern like Texas and all this territory, the slaves were running not only to Canada, which was far away, was running to Mexico. So they kind of resurrecting this kind of communities, like it sounds fantastic, but actually they building new communities in existing city or out of the city where they kind of purchase the land, and they accepting people who are not satisfied with life, up north. Not only not satisfied, it will be a waiting process who they will include in the community. But people going out of, people don't want their children to be educated in government educated system, and I understand why. Like lately they're not satisfied with they don't have medical support, so they actually creating parallel economy, I would say.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
So you help people imagine living overseas. You
Not only
help.
imagine, I'm practical, but I understand that such people, many people don't know about what's happening. I'm about to bring awareness and connect with the people who, like with the community which satisfy their needs. And by the way, right now, it's not profitable. Like for me, it's more mission. Like this part, it's mission, because it's kind of not money, people looking to save places. It's how I understand this, like from my perspective, and I help them to find these places and connect, with communities. They can find social circle, because many of them are moving with children, so they need community, they need support, and I like these ideas.
Well, I can see you're a very detailed and organized person, and that will be very, very helpful to people who are considering this kind of a move, change. And so there's a lot of misconceptions out there, and you're going to help them know the truth.
Yes, truth. Like I'm going and checking myself. Obviously, nobody knows what exactly would be in this or other place, in a year or two. But there is a trends, there is a tendencies, and again, some people would be satisfied with what's happening in their current home countries, but there are many people who are not satisfied.
Yep.
And they're looking, and they actually going from country to country, and maybe they're losing time, and And I myself such a person, so that's why I'm moving to be close to this community, and because I feel it's my tribe. It's not that I can live probably like in my age or whatever, like that it's communities for me personally, but I'm sharing the same ideas.
EmilyBRON.com. I'm looking at your website here, and it's really beautiful. I know you can't see it on the screen here, but I'm looking at the colors, the layout, the information is really easy to read through and digest because there's a lot here. And you take people, as you could see very easily, I see very easily, step by step, thinking by thinking, and your main theme is don't wait, of course. It's surprisingly affordable, you say, and there's you don't need to listen to any hype because the facts speak for themselves, and you get into all of that on your website very easily to read here. I'm going through it right now, and it's beautiful. You know, the use
Thank
of
you.
color and the typeface is easy to read. So thank you for this quick, distinctive, and honest guidance for a very difficult topic.
Very difficult topic, and I believe that many people may be probably looking for information. I can tell you that this movement that I was like just witnessing the conference over the 2 years, from I don't know 4,000 people, they grew to 40 during the pandemic. So that's why, and some other architects joined them, and investors. It's not about money, it's about ideas. What kind of society people want to live in, or what kind of community. People don't trust their government. That's why people are looking to govern themselves. We will see how it will work, because like I, for example, again, was born in Soviet Union, and I'm very well versed in experiment happening in this part of the world. These guys, they're working completely on different base. Like I was having always interest to kibbutz movement, which was very successful, but it was, actually national idea. It's like in the it's a national idea. How it will work on international, like people coming from different countries, it's a new type of experiment that I would like to be part of, not only to work with. So Liberland, again, it's one model for people, more crypto-based community. Oh, these communities are crypto-based as well. It's all one kind of umbrella with different groups, and what unites them, people are looking for freedom, for independence, and I like it.
Thank you very much for sharing all this good information for our audience here on globaltvtalkshow.com. And I'll get you a copy of this show quickly sometime today.
Thank you very much. As usual, pleasure to speak with you. And I hope that I, if not answer the exact question, but I provide people direction, or they can come to me to find connection with other communities which are only emerging. So, it's a new world, not new ideas. Ideas not new. It's implementation of the kind of ideas of best communities for people with families, for baby boomers. And it's not only eco, it's not only agro, oriented communities. I don't want to frighten of anyone. There's already emerging communities. And by the way, I'm thinking myself maybe to invest in some community for people of, that I would like to live with together, but it's for next conversations.
EmilyBRON.com. Be in touch with Emily. You'll be glad. Thank you.
See you soon. Bye.
Thank you.